Well, it looks like Coach Greg and Hussein have made a video where, now the title of the video is Coming Out, the Truth. I'm just going to make an assumption that this is about the steroid allegations, right, and not about anything else. With the two of them sitting there, yeah, you never know. Anyways, this is all coming from this big thing of drama, right? Because this guy Hussein, he blew up on social media really fast. He had this 3-year transformation that obviously wasn't natural, right? And so he lied about some drug use. He got super jacked super fast. Originally, Coach Greg was saying, okay, nope, this guy's definitely on drugs. But then they switched up and did this whole he's natty thing, and Coach Greg brought him on board. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, okay? Coach Greg, I'm disappointed. It just seems like, just like lying about being natty is one thing. It's just like, it's weird, dude. Like, why? Why are you going to lie about that? It's just dumb. So lying about it's just bad, okay? Lying about it is one thing, but the thing is, they're not just lying about it. They're lying to sell things, right? To sell things to you, right? To sell coaching. Hussein's got his one-on-one mentoring program, and Coach Greg's got all of his supplements and all that. And to me, that's where it really crosses the line, okay? We're not talking about your everyday fake natty who's just your guy in the gym, right? These guys are lying to sell you things, right? There's an implication that they have they made these gains off of whatever supplement or training, and now they're going to sell it to you. And so they're creating this unrealistic expectation. So they are going to go through and they're going to apologize, I think, in this video. I haven't watched it yet. So I'm very curious to see what they say in this video, because I said from the very beginning when Jeff Nippard made his original video, you can't tell. The blood work test they did is completely bogus, okay? The markers that Jeff was looking at from the very beginning, you cannot tell if somebody has been a lifetime natural or not. You can't. And then Coach Greg came along and made his video and said, oh, they passed the blood work. They passed the blood test. It doesn't matter, okay? They're looking at markers that don't matter. A couple of months after running whatever, and those markers are going to go back to completely normal. So let's go ahead and watch some of this video. Will I be completely vindicated, or is there more to the story? I guess we're about to find out, so let's go.
So we're coming clean. I don't know how else to start off this video. This was
let's just put I'm going to put some predictions out there. Let me know down in the comments. How long do you think we're going to have to wait to get into this video before Coach Greg starts trying to sell you something or plugging supplements or something like that? I have a feeling it will not be very long.
a really hard one to do, honestly, which is why I have Greg here with me to help me, navigate this, explain everything to you guys, explain this whole drama, explain what I've done and what I regret doing.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to be here to explain exactly the science of everything that went down and to say that, HLT supplements, we still support Hussein.
20 seconds. It took 20 seconds to get to the supplements. Okay.
Despite the fact that he lied in the past. And so, I'm just going to let him explain everything that he's done.
Okay. This is super stupid. Okay. Saying that despite the fact that he lied in the past, I feel like that's kind of minimizing the issue here. It's not that he just told a lie in the past. His entire online persona right now is predicated on the idea that he is a natural and underwent this huge natural bodybuilding transformation, okay? It's not just he told a lie in the past. His entire persona is a lie. The whole thing is a lie, right? He lied about himself. Coach Greg, I hate to say it, but I really think Coach Greg had to have known. Okay, he was lying. Was Jeff Nippard lying too? I don't know. Jeff Nippard, he either doesn't know what he's talking about at all, which I guess is a possibility, or he just is assuming and hoping that his viewers won't know anything either, or that his viewers don't have access to Google. So
and I'm here to support.
So you guys have probably seen my transformation, and the steroids accusations around it, and rightfully so. And I just wanted to tell you guys that everything was planned from day one. I decided to hop on gear. It was a small cycle: 300 EQ, 300 tests, 300 Masteron, a little bit of Anavar and MK as well.
just a little cycle of 900 milligrams per week of anabolic steroids plus Anavar and MK677. Nothing really major, just some light stuff, just a gram of gear a week. Okay, not a big deal, guys. Just a quick little pick me up.
And I did this for 16 months. I planned everything all along because I knew I was gonna, Greg was gonna make a video on me at some point. So as soon as it was the 16-month line, I hopped off and, reached out to Greg a couple months later. So it doesn't show on the blood work essentially. So.
Okay. Did you guys pick up what he just said right there? Okay, he hopped off all the stuff and then waited a couple months, and then he got his blood work done because he knew he wouldn't get picked up on the blood test. Just like I said in my original video, where I said it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what the FSH, LH, and testosterone markers are showing right now. He could have done stuff in the past. Okay, I said this from the very beginning. The blood test, it doesn't matter. It means nothing. Okay, so when he sat there and said, oh, yeah, blood test is good. Jeff said, oh, blood test is good. Greg said, yep, blood test. All of them, liars. Okay, and this is kind of the crappy part is like, right now they're admitting that they have just lied. That this whole thing is like a huge lie that they built up. Okay, so how much can we trust even going forward? What can we trust from them at all?
So you can explain to them, obviously.
Yeah, and so my first question when he told me all this, obviously I was shocked. I didn't expect it, but because I was...
Greg, really? You didn't expect it? Greg originally made a video and said there's no way this guy is natural. And now Greg is saying he's shocked?
Thinking, how on earth did you manage to keep all your gains when cycling up? Because most people, they use steroids and they stop, they lose a ton of muscle. Like, trust me, if you go on steroids and you go off, typically you lose a lot of muscle. And he would say, oh, it wasn't that much, 300 tests and 300 this, 300. It's 900 milligrams a week to start on day one, plus MK677 and Anavar. It's not like a pro cycle, but it is a frigging lot, and it explains all the...
He blasted gear, okay? And just like I said in the original video, okay, just like I said in the original video, the whole blood test thing with their FSH and LH markers, they could have done little bits here and there. And I even said in my original video, or they could have blasted for a while. Could have completely blasted crazy amounts of gear and just given some time for their body to recover. I said that in the original video. Boom, I was right, okay? So there we go, vindication, I was correct. He did just blast.
The muscle that he put on, and so clearly you can see why. Now, I didn't know how he kept his gains, but then the scientific snitch, she actually called me on the phone. I had the message. I'm not going to play her message, but she explained how there's certain polymorphism.
That chick's videos are so annoying. I can't stand them.
That allow you to build a lot of muscle.
Her videos are just the worst. They're so obnoxious. They're in that style of like Zoomer, like cuts where like every clip is like half of a sentence, and the video cuts like before you're even done talking, and she starts talking again before the last word even comes out. There's no breaks or anything. It hurts my brain. I can't even watch her videos. And then it's always the I'm a physio whatever. Don't care.
Despite having
I got a degree in blah, 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 blah.
Skinnier type physique to start with. And so you look at his before, it wasn't like he was huge. It wasn't like he had a myostatin deficiency.
It wasn't like he was huge. He was the opposite of huge. He was literally a toothpick.
Which a lot of people think that Julian had. Who knows? Maybe he has. Who knows? But this polymorphism, what it does is it allows you to put on that muscle, and despite being off of said steroids, you manage to keep almost all of the gains, because most people, they could lose half. And so if you were to copy what he did exactly, chances are...
Is there a way to catch polymorphism? Because if there is, I'm going to find out, and I want to catch some of that. Because, geez, Come on.
you would probably lose half your gains. Your balls get smaller, your testosterone production goes down, and then you lose a lot of the gains while your body's trying to recover. And if you use tren, for example, you're going to probably be shut down for 6 months or even more. And so that was what was really shocking, but I wasn't aware of this certain polymorphism. She's like, you could actually test him for this, but it costs a shit ton of money. And I'm like, well, we don't need to test him.
This is completely irrelevant to the point. Totally. This has nothing to do with them lying. Okay, so he's got some thing that lets him keep almost all the gains from when he was when he was taking steroids. So what? This has nothing to do with the subject.
Couldn't afford it.
Maybe it's not 1 in a million, which is the joke, but it's very rare. And so you can't.
Couldn't afford it.
Maybe it's not 1 in a million, which is the joke.
Dog couldn't afford it? Bro couldn't afford it? I'm sure he's making tons of money right now. He's wearing a watch. I'm guessing that's probably a multi-$1,000 watch. Okay, he's probably made all sorts of money lying to people, manipulating them, and taking advantage of their emotions to sell them whatever mentoring.
But it's very rare, and so you can't just copy what he did. But what it shows is that you guys were all right from day one. Now remember, I didn't plan this. You guys are blaming it on me, blaming
also
that you guys were all...
Look at the lack of eye contact. Okay? Look at him just staring down at the floor. He knows. He knows. He screwed up big time. Okay? He knows he screwed up majorly. Does he even care? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think, does he even care? Okay? My guess, probably not. In my opinion, they shouldn't have done this video at all. They should have doubled down. They should have completely ignored all of it. Just always double down.
all right from day one. Now remember, I didn't plan this. You guys are blaming it on me, blaming Jeff Nippard that we colluded. He planned this all from day one to go on gear for 16 months and then go off, and he managed to keep on the gains.
1 in a million in the sense of being able to keep the results after a cycle, and I'm going to keep them for the rest of my life. Hopefully when I'm like 80 years old, I'll be 180.
Yeah, like who knows, this polymorphism, I can remember she was like A113. You can ask the snitch, she knows more about it than I do.
I'm just here to give a little more context as an unbiased third party. I cannot say whether someone is natural or not, and honestly, I don't care. Both of your parents give you a copy of the DNA instruction manual, but it's possible to hold 2 copies of...
Can you guys hear what I'm talking about with her voice? Is she just like...
Don't care. Both of your parents give you a copy of the DNA instruction manual, but it's possible to hold 2 copies of one or both of these gene variants and be significantly more genetically blessed to build muscle and strength.
Okay, so her video is completely pointless. It was filled with a bunch of big words and diagrams to create some sort of appearance that she's a genius or an expert on the matter. What she said was she can't tell if somebody's natty or not, and polymorphism is passed down genetically from your parents. Okay, I could have Googled that in 5 seconds, okay? I didn't need some condescending... oh, look, she's selling the supplements now too, okay? I don't need some condescending nerd to tell me this stuff with a bunch of big words, overly complicated.
As an unbiased third party, I cannot say whether someone is natural or not. Hold 2 copies of one or both of these gene variants and be significantly more...
You just managed to keep all your gains.
I can't stand her.
It's almost like that polymorphism allows the androgen receptors to continue to grow or at least maintain for years in the future, where most people would get shut down, they would lose a lot of muscle, they would just feel shitty.
Yeah, and also like after 18 months, after 16 months of gear, I think I was like around 165, 170 lean, and I don't know, but I think this polymorphism problem...
You're 180 now.
180, yeah, 181 now, and I'm probably pretty close to where, how lean I was after 18 months, so I think it also not only helped me keep the muscle, it helped me even build more now at this point.
What's the point of all this? Why are they even talking about this? Who cares?
After hopping off.
Because there's a guy, Ben Bray. Yeah. I'm going to do a video on this guy. He's got 17,000 followers, 17,000 views. And he went on gear literally for 16 months. He put on 44 pounds of muscle, went off for a year, and lost pretty much everything. Versus you, you put on the same amount of muscle as he did in the 16 months. Like, literally, you got to watch this video. But he lost it all. And so you somehow just didn't lose it all. And so when I did the natty or not, I'm like, well, if you pass the blood work, that's proof that you didn't do gear in the past, because normally...
Oh my goodness. Okay. That right there, that statement from Coach Greg right there. Now I actually think that Coach Greg is lying here, and I hate to say that. I really do, because I like Coach Greg. Okay? I think Coach Greg has done a lot of good, and like I said, I think he's a good guy, but I think he's lying right here. We're going to back up just a touch. I want you to listen very carefully to what he says.
And I'm like, well, if you pass the blood work, that's proof that you didn't do gear in the past, because normally you go off, you lose all your gains.
Yeah.
But because of this polymorphism, and thanks to the scientific snitch for sending me that information, that's the explanation. When I went on gear and I...
Oh, hold on. I missed it. We're going back.
You're not.
Go to
I'm
the
like,
blood
well,
work.
if you pass the blood work, that's proof that you didn't do gear in the past, because...
If he passed the blood work, that's proof that he didn't do gear in the past. Okay, tell me how. Please explain this to me. This is Coach Greg saying this, okay? Coach Greg is coming from a huge bodybuilding background, okay? Multiple decades of performance-enhancing drug use, even many years of selling performance-enhancing drugs, 40-something bodybuilding shows, professional bodybuilder. He has to know this stuff, okay? How is it that me, just a random bald dad, okay, armed with Google, is able to figure out that after you do gear for a little bit, your FSH and your LH markers can go back to normal, and that it's possible for those markers to go back to normal? And just because somebody does blood work and their LH, FSH markers are normal and test is in normal range, that doesn't mean that they've been natty forever. Okay, how can I figure this out? I can figure this out with Google, but Coach Greg doesn't know that? Does that make any sense to anybody? Tell me in the comments, does that make sense? So Greg, you're really saying he passed the blood work, and that's proof he's natty in the past?
Normally you go... I'm like, well, if you pass the blood work, that's proof that you didn't do gear in the past, because...
Greg, come on, Greg.
Normally you go off, you lose all your gains.
Yeah.
But because of this polymorphism, and thanks to the scientific snitch for sending me that information...
Okay, so the polymorphism helped him keep his gains. It didn't help bring his FSH and LH levels going back to normal. Notice how Hussein didn't know that he had this polymorphism whatever thing. That I don't even think they really know that he has it, because they just admitted that he didn't get tested for it. So they're all just saying they think he has this polymorphism thing, which is totally irrelevant, okay? So they're saying he has this polymorphism, and his plan, Hussein's plan from the very beginning, was blast gear, let it all cycle out of his system, keep lifting, keep eating, and wait for his levels to come back to normal. Okay, so if he knew that was going to happen, he knew his markers were going to come back to normal, how did Greg not know? Somebody, please explain this to me. I feel like I got hit on the head.
That's the explanation. When I went on gear and I went off, I lost about 20 pounds of muscle, but I'm not off. I'm not natural right now. I'm on 140 milligrams of test a week. Now, guys, if I went off 140 milligrams and did nothing a year from now, I bet I'd stand here and have 15 pounds less muscle.
Okay.
I feel like the HRT is keeping...
But he says he feels like it could be true, could not be true. And also, this is completely irrelevant to the plot. Again, it is completely irrelevant. I think this whole thing, it's like they're trying to obfuscate and create this fake thing of, there's the polymorphism, and you guys were lying. Like, you guys lied.
15 pounds on. I'm 5'6", 192 pounds. I'd probably be like 175 to 180.
Yeah.
Natural, without the gear.
After how long?
After going off for just 1 year.
1 year, okay.
And so it's very rare that people can maintain that much muscle after going off. It's not something to expect.
Yeah. Do you think the polymorphism also helped me keep building muscle, because I'm a bit bigger than when I was?
Yeah, I think that your androgen receptors have just been permanently changed, and you can just continue to grow year after year. Who knows? You might be so rare that maybe you'll keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then 5 years from now, you're 200
Maybe it's just more common than they think.
pounds instead of like 180 and competing, because you do plan to compete in a drug-tested bodybuilding competition, but you're 100% natural for that show. They can test you as much as you want, and you've offered now $500,000 if he ever fails a blood work test, drug test for anything. So it clearly...
Wait, what? What? You can't do a natural bodybuilding contest.
You're 100% natural for that show. You do plan to compete in a drug-tested bodybuilding competition, but you're 100% natural for that show. They can test you as much as you want, and you've offered now $500,000 if he ever fails a blood work test, drug test.
You can. Okay, am I crazy here as to think that you shouldn't be able to do a tested natural bodybuilding competition if you used to blast gear?
For anything. So
am I completely, did I go into crazy town? What am I even watching? Oh my god.
Clearly he's not taking anything. You can think he's hopping on and off. It was a 16-month thing. And
okay, so if now he knows, okay, just hypothetically, just throwing this out there. If now he knows he could, since he did it before, he could blast gear for a while, for a year, and then stop, keep all the gains, and all of his levels go back to normal, okay? Why wouldn't he do this for the show? Why wouldn't he blast for the year before the show, 6 months before the show, come off?
And it's done. And so
is that really natural bodybuilding?
well, here at HDLT Supplements, we stand behind our athletes. You know, people make mistakes. It's not happening again.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, 100%. And like I said, probably anabolic stick is going to react to this and he's going to be like, oh yeah, I was right.
The catabolic.
It is kind of funny because Anabolic Stick made a bunch of videos about Hussein specifically being a fake natty. And my thing from the very beginning was always the blood test. Okay, my videos and what I was saying was always specifically about the blood test, about how the blood test did not prove that they were natural and that they could have been blasting before. So that was always me from the very beginning. Okay, Anabolic Stick was very outspoken about Hussein 100% is a fake natty. And he was right, man. He must be feeling real good right now because, bro.
Like Twig was right after all. He can't be mad at me.
No, you didn't know.
Like, how would I know about polymorphisms?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't know you.
Man, again, I hate to say this. I really like Greg, but this is screaming damage control to me. He's telling us we can't be mad at him.
You're going to be like,
right.
Oh yeah, I was right.
The catabolic twig was right after all. He can't be mad at me.
No, you didn't know.
Like, how would I know about polymorphisms?
Yeah.
You don't have to know about polymorphism. It's very, very simple, okay? I don't really like to make a whole bunch of claims as to who's natural and who's not because I don't really care, right? It's not really a big deal to me. But, I mean, this guy's transformation, you saw the before and after pictures, okay? He was like a literal twig, and then 3 years later, he like incredible, jacked, stacked, muscular, looking handsome, okay? Incredible physique in just a couple years. Greg knew from the very beginning, he said, there's no way this guy's natural. That was Greg's stance in the very beginning, okay? And then what changed Greg's mind? What changed his mind back to the guy's natty is the blood test, which I said through the power of a very simple Google search, you can find out that the blood test is completely bunk. Okay. With those pieces of information, I am left no other conclusion than to think that when Greg changed his mind about this guy being actually natural, I think that Greg was lying. And I hate that I think that because I don't really like to prescribe bad intentions on somebody where it could be ignorance. I like to always give people the benefit of the doubt, but I hate to say it, but I think Greg was lying here. Okay, let me know down in the comments. I'm not going to watch the rest of this. I think they're just going to keep blabbing on about polymorphism. Who cares? It doesn't matter. They lied. Hussein 100% lied. Greg probably lied. Let me know if you think he lied down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.